Oh, I've said, I usually say that, yeah. I've been occupied with the internet situation. It's good that you're thinking now. As MD Explorer. Well, anyway, first game, hideout, hideout, depending on how you see it. For Portugal, that probably means Turks. Magyar's pocket, I think. Khmer pocket, I would assume. And not unlikely with Vietnamese. But that's just my theory. Yeah, it bugged out, apparently. They're restarting. That's the Norwegian national anthem. Because Snope requested it. If it wasn't so late, I could have actually played it as well, but I don't want to bother my house owner too much. It's path forward now to catch up, and we will get to the action shortly. Okay. Turk's flank for Darkwind here. He is going to go into a cast drop and Janny series, I believe, and given the spawn here, they're really close to OG Daddy here. So OG Daddy is in for an interesting defensive game here. Right to pushing the deer. I don't think he even ate a single llama here. Just had the deer so close he could just start right on the hunt. That's interesting. So joined in the pocket is Dufon with the Khmer. With a lovely backspace here, perfect for a couple of TCs of Khmer booming in the back here, maybe. Nice back spot. So Khmer 23 pop FC boom, probably into some kind of cavalry game. On the hideout, you can see Scorpions. On hideout, you can see the battle elephants as well for the Khmer. They're strong on close maps because they have such an easy way to get to the next age, not needing any buildings. In the other pocket, we have Sabbat with the Bohemians, which I would associate more with flank on hideout, but I mean, freeing up some time for the Bohemians to get to the Castle Age or even a fast Imperial Age approach here with their strong gunpowder units and all, not to be underestimated. And finally, on the right-hand side, we have a Brisinger with the Byzantines here, a civilization I would have expected Portugal to go with for on Nomad. No, Nomad, I say Migration, sorry. Migration is in the map pool. And Wilder probably will save her ass here. Unless Red isn't... Oh, that was close. It's fine. So Byzantine's flank probably going to play into archers, crossbows, arbalests here. Let's have a look at Papaya Pit here. Is with the Saracens. He could play feudal age aggression here with the Saracens because they're so close to each other. Saracens, they break through walls nice and quickly. Oh, nice pick off there by Norway as well. Finding the scout of Portugal. Yeah, so Papaya Pit could play feudal age scouts here, but he could also easily use the market bonus of the Saracens to buy his way towards the castle age and go for some early crossbows play against the Byzantines, who admittedly with their cheaper trash units like the skirmishers would have an easy time defending against the Saracens. But in team games, skirmishers don't work all that well because there will always be cavalry in play from the pocket. And speaking of cavalry, we have Khmer only get access to cavalier, and Bohemians don't really get any particular cavalry at all. If this goes to the late game, I kind of favor Norway here, because they have the Franks from Andy in the pocket. They have the Poles from Brody, which have cheaper cavaliers, admittedly missing the last upgrade, but they spend 60% less gold with the unique technology. So yeah, Saracens, then Poles pocket for Rody. He will want to get into a mini boom into the Poles unique technology and the cheaper cavalry spam. And Andy with the Franks, well, that's a no-brainer. The Franks have the highest hit points paladins in the game. FC mini boom into cavalry. Could also go straight FC knights here to assist whatever OG Daddy has planned with the Ethiopians here. But he looks to be going for the feudal age rush here. It doesn't queue any infantry units, but he's going to go for the feudal age archers here to try and pressure Darkwing. I think that's going to be hard. It's going to be hard even with the faster firing Ethiopian's archers to break through here. Actually, could it be just a fast castle approach? He has too little food for that. He has too few on berries. 4 berries, 5 on sheep. I don't... Where are they going with this? It's all of them are going feudal age aggression here. Here comes the range. And it's 21 pop for Andy as well. It's a tiny bit of idle TC time, not too much. Dufault with a surprisingly high idle TC time here with almost 1 minute. Full on feudal age for Norway. I mean, it can work on hideout to apply that kind of pressure, but it should be easy for Portugal to hold off the aggression there, except maybe on the Saracen side where Papaya Pete can use the... Wait, that applies to the... Okay, I get it now actually. The Saracens team bonus with the higher damage against buildings will allow the flanks of Norway to break through the palisade, the weakest point, with archers more quickly, and then they could dive in and disrupt stone income and gold income. It might work. Might work. I'm just not too big of a fan of it because Khmer are easily going to go straight fast castle here when the flanks are being pushed, and then they'll just pump out 3 or 4 knights and they'll clean up most of the aggression to either side, but we'll see. First archer out for OG Daddy. He just brings it forward to prevent any walling behind there, but that market should keep that out. We'll need to look for another point of entry here. Blacksmith is up, second range coming up as well. On the other side, we have a full-on scouts fight here for the others. Khmer player, 25 pop now, going to go straight for the castle age, but actually Andy is well ahead. He's pulled off a 23 pop castle age here with the Franks. That's super fast with the Franks, even with 30-something seconds of idle time. So if he brings in some Franks Knights here to aid Daddy's feudal age push here, that's okay. I'm still concerned about Khmer situation here because it's not that far behind, and the Khmer farming is insane once you get it kicking off. Thanks for the follow, Tallboy 90. Appreciate it. We're getting closer. No point of entry for the armies just yet. Darkwing halfway to the castle age here, but does get the stone income compromised now. What's the fletching situation it's in for OG Daddy? On the other side, we have Brisinger with the archers of the Byzantines, so committing to feudal age armies as well. Maybe expecting the Saracens to go for feudal age aggression on the right hand side. What's the stone situation for Darkwind here? It's got enough stone for a castle. That's bad news for OG Daddy, unfortunately. Because a defensive castle here is going to deny any archers entry. That's not to say they can't move on to the pocket though, but the castle is in for the Khmer as well. Double Sable's going to pump out some knights here. And there are only a couple of knights out for Andy so far, so that early of an opening not really paying off well enough for Andy with the Franks here. Pretty sure that castle completes. OG Daddy pulls away and is stuck in the feudal age for a while, and he's going to be up against Turks, Janissaries, and Khmer Knights soon enough. Scary combination that, especially with the extended feudal age of the Ethiopian's player. Now drops the market, but as you can see from the resources, still got a while to go to get to the next stage. Papaya Pit didn't actually move out at all here. It's waiting for cast stage and the crossbows. So the push might work better on the right hand side here with Papaya Pit right around the corner of cast stage here, joined by some of Roddy's knights as well, who has the full work economy running and keeps one stable to field some knights here. Dufon with the Khmer going for a mini boom here, but Andy will try to obstruct that with the first few knights here. However, Andy doesn't have any upgrades and the Khmer player has the first defense in already. Now, quite a chunk of archers for Papaya Pit here, and he is going to get at least Bodkin here. Maybe crossbow is going to be a little bit rougher to afford, but he could sell wood and maybe be able to get it out regardless. Bodkin, however, is in, so he's got a massive lead over the Byzantines in terms of upgrades here. 2 minutes 20 seconds to go for the next age for Brasinger here, but will it be enough with Roddy's knights here? Ah, okay, good. Good push potential here now. Sabat actually has to commit to some Bohemians knights here. That's not really a long-term option for the Bohemians, as with 1.5 minutes to go to the next stage, Brasinger is going to struggle to keep the aggression out here. Still a weak spot at the palisade over here. But I guess Papaya Pit, oh nice, gets the pick off on the quick walling wielder here. Should easily be able to break through the palisade here and set back the Byzantines significantly here. Currently no big push happening up top, but the Janissaries now moving out, whereas OG Daddy now only has about 50 seconds to go to the next age. Needs to keep these archers at home, wait for crossbow Bodkin, and hope to get close enough to the Janissaries to diminish those numbers. Stonewalls from Brasinger still going to be tough to keep the Saracens crossbows out, but it might buy just enough time to get into crossbow Bodkin for the red player here as well. Bohemians cavalry joining in, but as we know, they don't get any bloodlines, so they will be suboptimal against... Oh, nice! Found another weak spot here. Could contest some archers now. Great aggression by Roddy and Papaya Pit here, but they are sort of kept out here now, as crossbow Bodkin is coming in for red as well, and red and yellow have better numbers. Better upgrades for Roddy still though, so the knight's situation of Roddy should be better here overall. Top side, the archers shouldn't want to move too close here. Still no upgrades for Andy's Frank's knights, unfortunately. +2 defense in for the Khmer makes it harder for its Andy to take him out as well, but he needs to focus Janissaries here and allow Andy to try and get close to them as well. Unfortunately, not the best fight for Norway here. But most of the crossbow numbers kept intact here, which is a good situation for Norway. Behind all this, Portugal A are extending their economy effort. Norway C is still ahead, but with multiple TCs, especially for the pockets here, triple TCs for both of the Portugal pockets, they might escalate or capitalize on the villager situation here and take an economic lead. Matching in military so far, and Rhodey and Popeyepit got some decent team coordination going on this other side here. Byzantine's numbers behind the Saracens for now. Maybe Popeyepit will need a third range soon. He's adding a second town center, so it's going to take an equal lead over his opposing flank here. But I'm scared about the push top side here. It's 2 TC, almost to be 3 TC economy now. Extending for Dufon with the Khmer here. Has got Knights now, masses with still with better upgrades than Andy. I'm afraid than Andy. 2 town centers here. Also got that healthy farming economy rolling, but he's just got too few villagers and gold to keep consistent double stable production. In fact, he's not barely producing at all here. Thanks for the follow, Tio Dokaksimbo. Janissary numbers looking scary here. 19 of them as Darkwing is adding a third town center at home as well. CNC Genki joining as well. Thanks for the follow. Genki desu ka? If you happen to be Japanese. So, Gray diving in here to try and focus down the Janissaries, I think. Oh, got more crossbow garrison as well. Nice move there. Keeping Portugal away, not taking any eco losses here. Look at the eco KD. Neither team has taken any eco losses thus far, but the production capabilities of its study is at risk of going down here. Oh, Portugal had a close game versus India. That's impressive. So Norway C shouldn't be too unhappy with the result here than if this doesn't go their way. But Osetinas isn't playing, so Portugal isn't playing the strongest team as of yet. But they still have 1500, 1600s overall. Watchtower defense here for its study. Still 2 TCs for Andy. He's falling behind the Khmer, or both the opposing pockets here now. And with the high damage output of the Janissaries, the production capabilities are going down as well. So even if Daddy has kept the resources fluent and rebuilt the ranges in the back here, it's going to be hard to withstand this pressure. Actually, he doesn't have an escape at this point. He's going to struggle to even escape with villagers here, and then you're nearing the point of defeat here. Thanks for the follow to some pen random as well. In an ideal situation here, we'd have Rhodey send some cavalry over from the Poles side, but Rhodey doesn't have a castle yet, so he doesn't have Slachta privileges for the cheaper cavalry. Now, Rams being added by the Turks as well, and Portugal A, they are going to close out this game in the castle age, I think. Yeah, no need to take things out of context, empty Explorer. South side is a decent pressure on the Byzantines, but Briesinger is also holding well with the stone walls and the building foundation strategically placed here. Gets another town center up on the stone. Will be able to get a defensive castle up eventually. Guard tower defense. Actually a good call by OG Daddy here to defend against the Janissaries, because the guard towers have longer range than the Janissaries. So, but the Ram addition here sort of keeps that out as well. Daddy does not have a town center anymore, and he is down to 36 villagers. Has he managed to pull any away at all? worried that our grey player here won't be able to get anywhere, and hence might actually get defeated, which would be very... well, I mean, then you're looking at 600 population against 800 potentially, right? So yeah, he tries to escape here, but good luck with that. Hey, at least he doesn't have any idle TC anymore. 36 villagers lost. I think Portugal A are happy with the damage down here. He's managed to wall his villagers in here, but I guess if you send some Janissaries over, send the Rams over, you could still take out the rest. Yeah, the Franks economy just not holding up to the Portugal pocket here. Nice farming economy rolling here, of course, and now it's found another gold mine as well, so should be able to make some more cavalry here, but that is a concern if your flank is essentially out of the equation here. That's a huge army mass moving in towards Andy's pocket side now, and he has 12 knights in the queue, yes, but he only has 6 out on the field. I think Andy went a little bit too ambitious with the cast stage there. He was sort of relying on OG Daddy to break through Dark Prince's walls in time, but it's just a little bit too early for Norway. Enter the Rams, at least Andy gets to take out some of those. He's scrabbling more forces now. 4 stables, I think he's pumping out all of them. Hey, Treptoburger. No, Akkal is perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. Akkal is fine. That's what I prefer it to say. Don't worry about it. It's... I think most people who watch my channel know that I call myself Akkal and not Akkal. No, it's just a language, no, country code addition, sort of. Don't worry about it. 21 knights now for Andy, but it's still outmassed by the Khmer player. Let's have a look at the south side here. It goes for an aggressive town center on the Byzantine side. He's having the time of his life over here. And at least he doesn't get any... They haven't taken any hits at home yet. Rody has the free economy app. He's getting the Poles castle app here, so he could get to the unique technology. It's going Imperial Age even. As is the yellow player, however. That's Bohemians. That's no threat to the Poles cavalry spam. Andy, however, now being outmassed by Janissaries and cavalry here, and only 20 villagers for OG Daddy in the grey as well. One flank, one side, unfortunately. Unfortunately, dying completely here. Norway C now down to 75 villagers less than Portugal A, and then down 50 villagers as well, as the only player not going for Imperial Age here is the Byzantine player, but it just needs to hold and survive better than OG Daddy on the other side here, and that should be alright. It's going to take some serious Poles cavalry spam here to change the outcome of this game, but just at least have the head start to Imperial Age here for Rody, who will be getting cavaliers out ahead of Portugal A. Maybe some bombard cannons or something to boot as well. I mean, honestly, Rody should consider just stonewalling off this side now and tell Andy to try and escape, but they're still got one teammate that is very much at risk of being defeated here. Frank-Will is doing a magic trick and disappearing. Yep. Down to 13 builders for Andy here. Probably not feeling too happy currently. Look at all those precious farms ready to be stolen by Portugal A. Cavalier 1 minute away for Rodi here, but they've been on the more passive side for a while here. The Byzantines player has been able to get the stone walls up, still has the defensive castle in the back, which could be contested by siege weapons, of course, but I don't really see any scenario where Norway C can return from this, and that's something extremely... Okay, no, this is not... Okay, Andy wants to get some Frank's castles up. I get it. He's found the TC on the stone over here, but... what's to stop Portugal A from pushing into Rodi's base now? Bohemian's castle coming up here as well. The siege workshops are up, which means that Hufnitze should be joining as well. Elite Janissary coming in for the Turks, and a petard! Where's the petard going? Well, what's the purpose of the petard over here? Is he gonna petard? No! Is he gonna petard into there? It doesn't matter, because Norway obviously realized already a little while ago that this is indeed Portugal's ace game. Turks not punished enough early game. Pockets allowed somewhat of a free boom, and yeah, a good plan in theory, but I think Norway was a little bit too ambitious with the early uptimes here. Let's have a look at the stats and wait around for the next next game. Grande Dike Prati, thanks for the follow as well. Portugal is in. They have one team. And if you want to check the seeding, it's here. Oh, on the contrary, I think Norway had a good team set up. They had the cavalry pockets, they even had the paladin pockets on the one that Portugal didn't. But they tried an early feudal age aggressive attempt here with fast castle pockets, but I think it was too fast. This 1344 for Andy didn't really... It was just... See, if we go back to... let's go back to around here, for example, right after Andy reached Castle Age. OG Daddy still hasn't broken through over here. If this had been open, if they were through, then goodbye stone access for Turks and gold access in the back. Maybe just a few knights. There's just nothing in the game at this point yet for Portugal to handle knights, but they're all, except for the Byzantines, they're all going past castle here as well, but at higher populations and healthier economies as well, and they'll simply be able to produce cavalry more consistently than Norway. So back to the end here. Show the uptimes. Fast uptimes for Norway not really doing the trick. And much better economies, of course. OG Daddy losing most of the economy, as did Andy in the end. Thanks for the follow, Mantas George. Alright. They may have started the next game already, but let's tick off the sibs here anyway. Bohemians, Khmer, Turks, and Byzantines taking that one against Saracens. Poles, Franks, and Ethiopians. African clearing coming up next. And yeah, let's go back to the states here. African clearing. Norway will be playing Hindustanis, possibly Burgundians. And I heard Andy said he wanted to play Bulgarians, so that's probably going to happen here. And then for the last one, Popeye Pete, I know wants Chinese. So I think Hindustanis, Chinese, Bulgarians, and the last one, I guess Burmese must be for migration. I think Burgundians, Hindustanis, Bulgarians, Chinese. That's likely going to be the setup here. For Portugal, Magyars probably, Magyars almost a given, Mayans again a given for these open land maps, and I think Huns as well. And then they'll save the rest for migration, but let's see. They may have launched already. Also, thanks to Sanzatu AOE for the follow as well. Off we go for African clearing. Magyars, Mayans, Vietnamese, of course, to reveal the towns and the locations. So, Rat Archers, Plumed Archers, Shawarma Riders, Camels, and cavalry from the Magyars. Maybe scouts to scout the map and pick off shorefish villagers as well. 15% cheaper scouts for the Magyars, not to be underestimated in the early game. Actually almost can keep up with Franks for that reason because of their instant forging as well. Nå må vi vise muskler, says Hoya. Now we need to show power. And to be honest, Rody, very solid Nomad player. He got far in my very first tournament, which was a Nomad Start tournament. He was 1500s at that time, now he's 1700s. Nomad specialist. Papaya Pit, another Nomad specialist. He enjoys Nomad Starts a lot. He's good at them. And the all-rounder, I think he enjoys lots of different kinds of maps. And same with OG Daddy. He plays most map right. Looks like it's the same setup for Portugal, isn't it? Salvadope, I think that's a new one. Okay, 1700 players. So they're not taking any chances here for African clearing. They're subbing in a stronger player for this one. African clearing, here we go. Oh! Okay, I was wondering for a moment here, but Brisinger goes for a dock on it. I like this. It's very close to the woodland for expansion. Easy wall-off. And he's got one lake. Anyway, and he's settling close to the Gudjars player here. So we have a Magyars Gudjars, almost like a pocket double. This is live, indeed. Almost like a Lombardia-style pocket situation here for coordination. They can easily team wall and take off a section of the map. And same thing happens to the left-hand side with the Vietnamese and the Mayans over here for Dufon and Salvadope. As they place their thesis. I'm not... It's unfortunate for Salvadope that he didn't see this one, but then you could actually get 2 lakes. Or almost 3 actually, with 1 TC. But yeah, they're sharing their spots, staying somewhat close. Very good potential for Portugal A to wall off a bit in the front here, like this, and here. And suddenly you have like 1/4 of the map to work from. For team coordination and to keep the economies and whatnot safe. One setback for Portugal here is that they need to move out for that fast food income that is the fish. So they need to expand to the other ponds later on. They're taking a small portion of the map here now. Whereas Papaya Pit has the dream situation here with the Hindustanis over here. He's so far away from all of Portugal. He's got very good potential for a, let's say, 23 population. Fast castle here with Hindustanis. Even put the TC on 2 ponds here, almost the 3rd one. So I think he's just going to go fast. If he realizes that Portugal are all so far away, he's set up for a beautiful FC boob here with Hindustanis. Could definitely in a position to have an uncontested boom and get to the castle and Imperial Ages faster. Use the mobility of the Hindustanis to really dominate the game late Castle Age, early Imperial Age. On the other side, we have most of Norway collected in the same spots here. We have Rodi in the back here with the Burgundians, also a strong economic civilization. And Loom is probably for the elephant luring. Nope. Who got Loom? Yeah, it's for the long distance elephant lures. And we have Andy with the Bulgarians here. He wants to get creposts and castles up for stirrups, conics. And he also has the infantry late game, the Bagains, 200 swordsmen, which you never need to research any swordsman line upgrades for the Bulgarians. They get there instantly as they move through the ages. He's Mayans though. Nope. So he was probably struggling for food. He was probably a pop capped. That's why he got Loom that early. And OG Daddy with the Burmese here probably wants to get into Arambai, but you could also use the elephants with the battle elephants of the Burmese with the unique technology to withstand even more arrow fire, higher pierce armor with the Havda technology, and use that as your cavalry unit from sort of a pocket position together with the Hindustani's camels. But there's only one... No, there's two Paladin civilizations that play here. There's the Burgundians, but they don't get Bloodlines, and there's the Magyars that get fully upgraded Paladins and Cavalry Archers. So, advantage Vietnamese, they will know that Pavai Pit has settled far, far away. He will be vulnerable to early mobility attack of especially the scouts or even an FC Knights approach here. So, something to keep in mind. But look at this starting spot. Mill on this one, Town Central, 2 lakes here. Dream spot for any civilization this, to have three lakes just like that. Looks like we're a bit housed here for the Magyars, scrambling up a house. Ace up there. Look at the eco progression here now. Norway slightly ahead. I guess their town centers were up a little bit later, but they have lower idle town center times overall, so their progression towards the next stages is already decently ahead. And the way the TCs are set up here, it's favoring Norway for now. But if Norway go for heavy feudal age pressure here, that might backfire because of the TC placements of Portugal, as they have secured a lot of economy around their starting TCs here, woods and food income. And same over here, that if you go for the scouts, archers, coordination here, you might struggle to find places to hit. But I don't think this is an archers layout for Norway anyway. I think they all basically, maybe one player goes scouts and keep some map presence with the mobility, and then the rest simply go fast castle age into castles and creposts for map control, and then try to allow Papaypit to get that fantastic Hindustani's boom rolling. But he's not going for that, right? Oh, it's a pity that he doesn't go for the fast castle approach here, because he's dropping a barracks. He's going to go for the scouts. Hindustani's team bonus, the scouts break through buildings, or they provide bonus damage against buildings. So it makes it easier to break quick walls or break through palisade walls and whatnot, but I feel like the Hindustani's player playing scouts here is not the correct approach. I'm sure they have a plan, but it doesn't feel right for us who can see the full map at all times. Good scouting from Norway. I don't think they know all that much about the actual TC locations, but they've lost villagers over here, so, or lost division, sheep maybe over here, so they must have some idea that, and besides they haven't found any lumber camps or TCs or anything around there, so they must know that there's some Portugal presence in this area of the map. Also, it would seem they've spotted one of the Gurriara's mills here. Looks like Portugal A are going to go for some fuel age pressure here. Pretty fast up. Fuel age is already in for some of Norway. Brody gonna go for the scouts as well. I think they want to deny the eco bonus of the Gurriara's garrisoning livestock in the mills. Crazy that it is even at 21 pop here with that food boost from the mills of the Gurjaros. You might actually be able to pull off a fast castle even with only 21 pop here. It's ridiculous. Still got the berry bushes as well for some safe food. Yeah, a little bit of food left. Here comes the market. Is there a blacksmith somewhere? Meanwhile, some walling off here from Salvadope on the left-hand side. And top side also being walled off by Dufon, securing the Mayans past castle approach here. Going to go to this stone and get castle tap for plumed archers in the castle age. It's like the Mayans almost equivalent of a cavalry archer. It's at least plays similarly to cavalry archers, even if it doesn't have quite the same speed as the cavalry units. Look at that food count, so close to that castle age click for the orange player. Only 25 pop, but still with the usable economy. Papaypit is out with the scouts. Could have actually hit the builder through the palisades there. He does not have enough scouts to comfortably contest Spearman here, so it's a good barracks by Darkwing with that in mind. Looks like most of Norway is going for the scouts here, except for the Burmese that's going to go into the Castle Age and the Arambai here. Good raiding unit. We have Magyar scouts out as well as expected. One stable for now, might be adding another one soon enough. Spotted Andy's gold miners here, but not going to get through at this point as Andy is queuing scouts as well. And once he has 3 scouts at the ready, he should be able to comfortably contest the purple scout here. Unfortunate for Rody, he wasn't patrolling there, otherwise he could have picked off some of the purple scouts around here. Papaya Pete scouting and raiding the map as well. Committing to feudal age here as all of Norway are doing. Portugal A only having the good yards playing on castle age, but getting punished a little bit here with that. Papaya Pete decides to focus down that one spearman first and chases these builders away from the fish, which impacts the food income by Darkwing quite a bit actually, except for that food trickle from livestock that could be a lifesaver for the Gurriaras. Oh, that's so close. That's so stupid close of Brody to break through there. It's just 3 or 4 hits away from the scouts and he would have gotten into the economy here, but sadly has to run away from the spears and archers and did not want to commit and lose scouts needlessly there. Papaya Pit with 8 scouts out now. Norway C with the military momentum currently, but Portugal still getting more out of the military they have at work here. Nice quick walls from OG Daddy here. Going to sacrifice 1 villager, but it's worth it to keep the scouts from denying this castle from going up. So Arabai are going to be on the menu soon, which means that we will be needing archers from either the Vietnamese and Mayans to comfortably deal with those. There's the castle age click for Papaya Pete as well. He's going to drop a second stable shortly, probably, to get some camels production going. But speaking of camels, the Gurriaras player is ahead, is on top of things with that. 4 camels out. Darkwing, however, low on gold, low on food. He's had the eco obstructed a little bit. Castle is up, Iron By are out. Could be a very good raiding unit at this part in the game. 12 attack, they are missing some accuracy, unfortunately, but they still snipe villagers almost as efficiently as conquistadors when they hit their shots. Eagles, feudal age eagles from Dufon here. It's an interesting approach, but it's just been massing them while on the way to the Castle Age here. Quite the chunk of scouts for Norway C though, and they still have most of the map presence here. They'll need some more fortifications or walls to limit the impacts of raids here. A couple of towns that are now going up for the Guriars. Such a ridiculously strong eco-civ if they're able to garrison enough livestock across several mills. It's just a free food trickle that doesn't cost you anything. By trying to focus some archers here, but the Castle Age is in, so OG Daddy needs to be careful here with the engagements. Now walls going up for Rody at home base here. He's got a couple of stables producing, and he's also about to reach the Castle Age in 40-ish seconds. By where's Eagles? How's that gonna work out? Papaya Pit, thankfully, has not been hit at home base just yet. He's securing woodland with a gold pile over here. And also small walling in the gold miners at home base. So that should be keeping the gambles out from raiding his economy here at home. He has home field advantage in terms of defending here as well. Oh, will he see the camels this time? Yes, clutch quick call there from Papaya Pit. It's going to keep the Guriars camels out. They have 6+1 attack, but actually Papaya Pit's camel upgrades are better. I'm puzzled as to the Eagles' approach here, though. Wouldn't Blue Blockers make more sense against the units currently on the field? The Camels, the Arabai, and the Conics, even. Eagles and crossbows, gold heavy combination, going to take out some of OG Daddy's villagers here. He's already at low eco with only one town center in the middle here. He's been planning to mass armies, staying a prolonged one town center play here. He'll need to relocate for more consistent wood access anyway, but right now he's facing some nasty pressure. He might be saved or joined by Rody's armies here though, and Conics joining in there as well. If you get a 3 vs 2 situation here from Norway C, that could be a potential cleanup here if the cavalry upgrades are on point here. Yeah, they need to coordinate their efforts here. But look at this, Guriars getting the free boom down south here, really extending the economy now, taking another lake as well. Taking the boom lead by... Actually, not yet. But... danger is that the Guriars will take the eco lead over Papaya Pit over here. They're inside of Rody's base here now. He doesn't have enough Cavalier of his own to deal with this, but he's being joined by Andy here. Drops a Crepost for defense as well. Arabai joining in as well. This should be a good fight for Norway C. They have the numbers and HP advantage. Yes, they're fighting uphill, but they have the army mass here. I would have needed the Arabai over here. I think it's too few units here. Rody's still missing the +2 defense. Can they clean this up? We need the Arabai over here. We need them now. Oh, it's so unfortunate. With the Arabai on the hill here, chasing these armies, that would be much better fight for Norway, unfortunately. A little bit of lacking team game communication there, but at least the Arabai persist. 10 Arabai now, total. Papaya Pit on top of things in the raiding business here as well. He's trying to deny that TC number 4 of the Guriars. Not quite going to succeed in that, and it's unfortunate with the scouting not seeing those 2 town centers down to the south as well. I'll hand that to Papaya Pit though. He is staying ahead or keeping up with Darkwind even with 1 town center less. Dead even military numbers, dead even eco numbers now for Portugal and Norway. This game could go anywhere still. There's stone being mined by Dufon here. Far away from any castle yet, so not gonna see those plumed archers. Just extending the economy, finding another gold mine over here. Iron seems to be working out decently against the Eagles just because of their high attack. Simple as that, but they don't do well against crossbows when ballistics is implemented. It's not in yet. Here comes Andy with the Conics, and they're going to intercept the crossbows here. Could get a great fight against yellow. Nice little sandwich maneuver there, staying close with the arrow by as well, while focusing on against. Great fight for Norway C, and they're now ahead by about 50 military here, but they, especially Daddy, might need to consider extending the economy soon, because Norway are going to fall behind in economy unless they get some serious raids in here. Cavalry archers now in for the Magyars, so switch away from the knights into paladins into cavalry archers instead, so it's going to be cavalry archer from the Magyars Guriares. I definitely like the cavalry archers against the Arambai here, but they 100% need ballistics to work well. They're going to do well against the Conics as well, of course. But now let's see. Conics, don't run away! Andy! Nice. Not a good fight for Norway C here. Picking off some cavalry archer numbers as well. That's not what Portugal A wants to experience here right now. 2 town centers for Brasinger. He's committed to 3 range cavalry archer play. That's why he's not necessarily contesting board. Some eagles all the way over at Papai Pit side now, but he's placing his 5th town center. He can afford to lose some villagers at this point. He'll need help to deal with this though, because these camels alone aren't really the best option to deal with eagles. So look at the upgrade situation here. +2 missing for Darkwind in terms of attack, but as is the case for Papaya Pit, he has +1/+1. That should mean that Papaya Pit has better upgrades, shouldn't it? Yes. So in equal numbers here, Papaya Pit easily wins because he has better upgrades, but he's unfortunately taking a fight at a disadvantage here. He's also being raided by eagles at home base, and that's not the situation you want to be in now, even with the cheap villagers of the Hindustanis and the multiple town centers working. It's a drain on the economy for sure. Finally, the Mines Castle comes up, and we could see a switch away from the eagles into the plumed archers now. You see the wood gold situation here is well set up for plumed archers potential. Papaya Pit gets the economy idled a lot of the time here now, but it's also putting the economy back to work as the eagles move away. Forward castle now for Andy is going to be able to produce conics closer to the Portugal base now. Are any of them close to Imperial Age? Not really, but it's not the case for Portugal A either. We will want some siege weapons to push through here, but maybe with cover fire from the castle you could push through here with the Bulgarians' rams as well. And in the Imperial Age, Bulgarians have, or Bulgarians in general, they have a discount to the siege workshop technologies, so they can get to siege ram at half the price. Here goes the unique technology for Guriars. That's going to diminish the food cost of armies by 25%, I believe. Cavalry archer numbers on the Magyars increasing as well. 25 cavalry archers now on the field. Could be dangerous, but now comes another castle from OG Daddy here. Should protect his golden soul, but that needs to go up quickly. So the Iron Buy has been sent to the rescue to OG Daddy's side, but yeah, cleaning up the eagles over here. Still a few eagles roaming about here, but now only 2 eagles left on the field. However, we have the Mayans going Imperial Age here, which means that the forward castle of Andy is a lot less scary at this point. They'll need to break through. We need some kind of siege weapon to push through here. So rams, mangonels, anything. Castle gets denied. Perfect timing for Portugal A to intercept that castle going up. The OG Daddy deletes the foundation and is able to place it further back to protect his farming economy. And what's left of his home base. Got the town center at the woodline as well, so maybe he could have placed the castle on at this side actually to instead of at home. No, it's gonna be denied again! It's gonna be denied again! And so many villagers lost for OG Daddy. He is the punching bag these games, isn't he? I think you might need to delete some foundations here now to allow the Cavaliers to dive in, but the cavalry archer numbers, they're growing scary. We're also on the way to the Imperial Age for Brisinger over here. Which means that heavy cavalry archer, bracer, and chemistry is on the agenda. It's easy to decide for Andy, but only one villager building it. It's been intercepted by the Eagle Warriors here. But unless these get cleaned up, maybe one Conic over here and he cleans that up. But that town center isn't going to complete quite yet. Couple of ranges for the Vietnamese now, going to double up on the crossbow, soon to be arbalest production. Imperial Age now kicking in for Dufon with the Mayans, which means that trebuchets should be in the queue here to deal with the forward castle of Andy. Guriar's economy gets contested now, and we're still in the castle age for Darkwind here, so I think it's a good time to raid and to make sure the Guriars get a little bit obstructed here. But now the Shri Vamsha riders are out. They dodge projectiles, and the Arambai already fire inaccurately, but with a high damage output. They seem to be doing well as against the Shri Vamshas actually. But yeah, they're over here as well. Dreadful raiding unit this. Look at the movement speed, 176. Possibly one of the fastest units in the game. Yeah, that castle going down, there's no stopping that. Now creeping up for the Vietnamese as well. Ram going up, that's going to be for the bombard cannons. As well, we're not in the Imperial Age yet, but that's going to be an instant chemistry research probably. And then into bombard cannons from the siege workshop. More castles going up. Portugal A, if they need it, they could consider setting up trade, but there's obviously on the Nomad start map, like everything clearing, there's so many gold and stone patches to be taken. Slowly creeping up the map here. Eco still arguably ahead for Norway, but they're going to be subject to constant raids from the Shri Vamshas from now on, and the camels, they just can't catch up. The camels move at 160, the Shri Vamshas. Look at this! What a stupid unit. What a ridiculous unit. They're so fast! But when the camels catch up, they clean them up easily, of course. Heia Norge, says Snippy. Go Norway. Arbalest chunk for the Vietnamese out here. Chemistry coming in, which means that bomber cannons should be popping out from the siege workshop over here soon enough. Cavaliers in mass for Rhodey here though, so if he can get to Paladin before the fight is forced here, Rhodey could get a decent fight here, because there's only the Vietnamese arbalists here really. It's got 1 minute 30 to go though. He needs to make sure that these stables are garrisoning the new cavaliers that pop out, otherwise they just die to the pikes and arbalists over here. He's pulling them behind, he's being very patient here, Rhodey, with the cavalier to try and get to Paladin. Gudar's castle going down forward here for Portugal A. Now siege workshops forward as well. Must be some kind of ram siege. I don't remember if they get bomber cannon, but capped ram probably, or not capped ram, but armored elephant and siege elephants. And they shred, but maybe Papaya Pete's camels could assist in that as well. Cavalry archers over here. Heavy caval on the way, but Ooh, could be a good fight for Papaya Pit, this one. I'm surprised with the extent of additional town centers of Portugal A that they are not more ahead in economy here. Norway still keeps that military lead, and they're almost keeping up with the military. Now Paladins are in, but Halberdier is in for Mayans as well. There aren't that many of them. Could still be a decent fight, but Rody needs to be joined by some friendly forces here. Here come the Ironby. Ironby to the rescue from OG Daddy here, the only player still in the Castle Age. He could receive Sling since he's 1 age below. But the Paladins, most of the Paladins now go down. They're going to trade well against the Arbalest Dome, but they're fighting underneath Castlepire. And OG Daddy also doesn't want to move too close to the Halberdiers here with the Ironby. They're simply going to go down to the Halberdiers if that's the case. Siege Elephant coming in, heavy camel for the Gudjaras as well. Economy is looking fresh, especially for the Vietnamese here. But all things considered, great engagement by Rody over here. Keeping the economy fairly safe at home base as well. Cleaning up most of the armed forces of the Vietnamese, forcing them to replenish. It's still the Eagles from the mines. Still Eagle, Halb, no Plume Launchers, which is baffling to be on this map. I see Plume Launchers so much on this map, but it's still... they've done some work through the raiding for sure. Look at these siege elephants go. Look at so many of them as well. Look at how quickly they take out buildings. They've been buffed in the most recent patch as well. They do even a tiny bit more damage. But that might just be a stat correction as well to reflect the tech tree. But yeah, they're going to... now it backfires that Papaya Pit didn't just go for the straight past castle boom here with the Hindustanis, I think, because he's all on his own over here, is still detached from his teammates. And Norway C still somehow have a villager numbers lead here, but they're down to half the military now, and they're being pushed by strong Imperial Age forces as well. Imperial Age finally on the way for OG Daddy, but it's being researched over here. So if the tribes push this TC, that's going to cancel out OG Daddy's Imperial Age as well. It's only at 25%, so this is a dangerous place to be researching Imperial Age right now. Armored, no, siege elephant raids here. 147 damage against buildings. If you get the unique technology for the Gudjaras as well, which he didn't have, and I believe the elephants will do even more damage, isn't there something like that? Elephant units, cavalry units. I may be mixing up the technologies, but there's something about that. 28, Arambai out and about. Lots of halberdiers and lots of arbalists with ballistics, chemistry, you name it. That's bad news for the Arambai play. They just can't withstand that kind of army combo, and it makes it even harder with the halberdiers in front, because then the halberdiers are your meat shield in front of the arbalists, and the Arambai just can't comfortably engage. Missed arrows for the Arambai. Hit units though, so as long as he keeps the distance, he could probably deal with some of the helps out here. But look at that, it's 10 barracks almost producing for the Mayans. And the Vietnamese arbalist mass also at almost 90 at this point. Ridiculous army mass from Portugal A here now. Norway C down to 1/3 of the military strength of Portugal, and they're being pressured heavily with siege weapons and counter units to this side as well. While on the right hand side, raiding Papaya Pit's Hindustan is to the death here. He's losing the woodline, he's losing most of his economy. OG Daddy never really managed to build any significant economy, but he's also been subject to huge raids here with 72 and 100. So many villagers lost for Norway here. So many villagers lost, but we are certainly nearing the end here, and that's the GG well played is called. Good efforts put up by Norway. And as from a neutral perspective, looking at the opening setup here between the players, I'm a bit sad that Papaya Pit didn't just go straight for FC Camels or FC Boom rather than commit to a prolonged scouts. But it's decisions. Portugal clearly the stronger team here. But the much even game the second one here was a nice game to watch for sure. Good hours being allowed the boom in the end there. We'll see that it probably shows in the economy stats that food boost early on as well. If you go to let's compare to Popeye for example, and have a look at food collected. See the good hours here. That mill trickle. Shorefish, everyone's taking shorefish, right? And that's among one of the fastest incomes in the games. But then you have that uh, free trickle in addition as well. Look at this. It shows in the early game as well. It's like always a little bit ahead. Such a benefit to have that. Okay, so the overall score here. Arabai getting some good raids in. Good early game for Norway, but the late game, the Portugal team just too strong. Gujaras, surprise, surprise, highest economy here. Popeye beat with a good boom as well, but would have so much love to see a Hindustani 15 minutes cast late here or something, maybe even less, and to get those camels out before the Gujaras. Good effort. Missing some of our stronger players as well. Pity that Straumandes couldn't play. So still good efforts.